All right, what's going on? Wednesday, the 29th. We are here. I was having some technical difficulties. I set up the stream the wrong way. I'm still fairly new to the live streaming, but I do go live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time with a different topic that I think can really help you guys to improve your fitness, see better results, lose more body fat, build more muscle, do things sustainably, make it a little bit easier for you. And today's topic, I'm going to go over 7 pro tips to help leverage your time in your fitness and with your training specifically and nutrition. All right. Because most of us are busy. Most of us work full time. Most of us have a lot of things going on. You're juggling life, family, work, social life, travel, everything that life throws at us, right? Most people don't have endless hours to be spending doing cardio or being in the gym. Not to say that you can't like it. I love going to the gym and I would happily spend 2 hours a day in the gym, but I don't have the time to do that anymore. I used to when I was in college, but 12 years later, 10 years later, I don't have time to be doing that, and many of you guys don't as well. You know, not many people have time to be cooking 5 meals a day, 6, 7 meals a day. That was like when I was coming up in the industry, that was like the go-to nutrition strategy and eating plan that was taught to us as trainers, that was basically the best way to approach nutrition and what we should be recommending to clients was to eat a small healthy meal every couple hours, which means depending on when you wake up and when you go to bed, we're talking about 5 to 7 meals every day. Who's able to make 30 meals, 35 meals per week? Like every week. Like to do that for 1 week is incredibly hard, to have 5 healthy meals cooked in Tupperware ready to go. Not to mention, you have to sit down and eat those meals 5 times throughout the day. Most people don't have time to sit down and eat 5 times, never mind do the hours of meal prep required to have those meals prepped and ready to go, right? So again, nothing wrong with that approach of eating every couple hours. Sure, if you can do that and if you have no problem and it doesn't affect your life and your schedule allows for that, like fine, that is great. That's a great way to do it. But the truth is, and I learned this coming up like as a trainer working at Equinox, I was able to actually do this strategy because I was sitting in the gym all day. I was training some clients in the gym before normal work hours and after normal work hours. But all throughout the day, I was just sitting in the gym, easily able to eat my meals, easily able to train whenever I wanted, sometimes train multiple times a day. But a traditional personal trainer in the gym schedule isn't the schedule of 99% of people out there. And when I entered the corporate world and I was working in New York City in a corporate job and commuting to an office and sitting at a desk all day, I realized this was nonsense. Nobody that I knew in my work was going to be able to do this, including myself. I wasn't going to be able to do that strategy anymore. So, and this is where I really started learning uh not just about what they taught us in the certifications, which is mostly bullshit, but actually learning what works for real people in the real world with real schedules and jobs, and started to kind of expand my ideas and approaches and what I was open to and what I was recommending to clients. So I'm going to give you 7 pro tips to help save time or leverage your time when it comes to this fitness stuff. Because again, if the approach you're taking is unsustainable with how much sacrifice and time it's taking, you're going to run into trouble. You're going to probably run yourself into the ground, right? Um, But if we can make it time friendly, if we can create systems and streamline things with your eating and with your training that allow you to be productive with your training and nutrition and allow you to see results without insane time commitments, that naturally is going to make it more sustainable and more like a lifestyle and more able for you to continue doing it long term and be consistent with it. All right, guys. So if you joined the video, let me know down in the chat below. Let me know you're watching. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. And I go live like this every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Been doing this for a couple months now, and it's been really, really good. I've very much enjoyed it. I hope if you've caught a couple of the videos, I hope you've liked them as well. I've received some good feedback from many of the guys that I work with. So if you're a client of mine, let me know down in the chat below. If you're not a client of mine, say what's up in the chat. Let me know you're here, and I'm happy to have you. All right. So the first tip here, I'm going to go through 7, and they're all pretty quick. I'm going to be off of here within 10 or 15 minutes because I actually have a coaching call at 12:30. All right. Yeah, 12:30. All right, cool. So tip number 1 is to automate your nutrition. Now, if you're here and you're a client of mine, you know what this means. You have heard me say this 100 times because I'm convinced that nothing works better when it comes to nutrition than automating 1 or 2 of your meals, right? This doesn't mean you have to eat the same meals every single day for the rest of your life. What this means is you pick 1 meal in the damn day that's the same every day for that week or for that month. There's no hard rule of how long you have to stick with this meal. I've had automated meals that I eat every day for a week and I get sick of it and I switch it to a new automated meal. I've literally had automated meals that I've eaten for a year. There was for a year or more, maybe more, I had 2 eggs with like an English muffin with some fat-free cheese and some egg whites on the side. Like I had that meal. It only took 5 or 6 minutes to prepare. It was a high protein meal. It was a reasonable amount of fiber because I used a higher fiber English muffin. And I had that meal and I knew what the macros are. I had that meal every day for over a year because I just didn't get sick of it. So the idea here is to plan ahead. You're picking one meal that you don't have to decide upon. Breakfast is a great one to do it, but if you can do it with lunch, man, is that going to be a life-changing thing. If you can automate breakfast and lunch, that is going to be life-changing. If you currently have to decide on the fly every day, what am I going to eat for breakfast before I run out the door? And then you have to, during the busiest time of the day, during the work day, you have to decide and make an impulse decision. What am I going to have for lunch? They got pizza in the office. These coworkers are ordering Chinese food. They're ordering this group's going out. Yeah, you're not going to make a good decision in that scenario, right? And if you have that meal decided upon and ready to go, you're going to win. The decision we make, we have one decision to make each day with nutrition. While all you guys are trying to decide every day, what do we eat? What's a good breakfast meal? What's a good lunch? What's a good snack? All we have to think of is what should we have for dinner? That's the one decision I have to make every single day with nutrition. If there's only one decision to make, you're more likely to get it right. If you have 4 decisions, 5 decisions, 6 decisions because you're deciding on snacks, it's going to be harder. You're making it less likely you're going to see results. The more that's automated, the more likely you're going to see results, the higher the likelihood of success. So automate your nutrition, ideally your breakfast and lunch, but at the very least one of the two. And your snacks as well should be automated. If you're randomly winging it each day with snacks, like that's where a lot of people go wrong because they don't realize that they don't think they're big snackers. And then if you really go back and tally up everything they had, oh, a handful of pretzels, a couple cookies from the office, a bag of chips, like, oh, well, yeah, you actually shat the bed with snacks because you're grabbing handfuls of this and that and this and that all throughout the day, starting at 6 a.m., going till literally 11 p.m. So if you can automate your snacks, make it like 3 solid snacks, protein shake, fruit, cottage cheese, protein shake, fruit, Greek yogurt. Like you're going to be way more likely to see results in that case. So automating your nutrition, that's number one. That's how you leverage your time and save yourself decisions and save yourself time. I saw someone post on LinkedIn yesterday, and I don't know if this is true at all, but I thought it was interesting. And they said the average person spends 60 minutes per day trying to decide what to eat. I don't know if that's true. 60 minutes, that seems like a lot to me. You get the idea though. What if it was 10 minutes or 15 minutes? The average person spends 15 minutes trying to decide on what to eat per day. That's all. You could do something legit in 15 minutes. Some of my clients have 15-minute workouts, right? So the more decisions and things you have to wing it with, you're it's not going to be good. All right. So number two, and this builds off of nutrition automation and off of the whole food thing, is use a meal prep service. Right. It's a really good deal. I've told clients this before. Meal prep services like 10 years ago when they came out were the same price as they are today, pretty much. I remember paying $12 a meal for Eat Clean Bro in 2017, which was like a New Jersey based meal prep company. At the time, that was expensive because you could get Chipotle for $8. You could get a burrito for 7, $8 with double chicken at that point. Not in 2025, you can't. I can't get a burrito from Chipotle or a burrito bowl with double chicken for less than $20. Meal prep services are still $10 to $12 per meal. They haven't went up for the most part since 8 years ago, 10 years ago. The point of a meal prep service is to just leverage your time. If you're watching this and one of your main obstacles is, I don't have enough time, you're an idiot if you're not using a meal prep service. Like, why wouldn't you outsource the cooking, the meal prep? Why wouldn't you outsource that for cheaper than fast food? Like, that's the ultimate, like, this is it. This is the ultimate, like, time saving play. It's like, just have someone else take care of all the healthy cooking and they deliver it to your door once a week. Once a week, I go outside and there's a cooler with 10 healthy meals and they tell me the exact macros of every meal and I just put it in my fridge. And then every day at lunch, I pull it out and I heat it in the microwave for 2 minutes. And I've got a healthy meal that I know the exact macros of that I did zero work to cook, prepare, or track the macros of. It's like, what are you doing? Like, why aren't you doing that? Unless you're totally fine to do the meal prep yourself. Like, that's the only reason to not use a meal prep service is if you have no problem meal prepping your meals every week and you don't miss, right? Most people I know, they miss. Some weeks, like one out of 4 weeks in the month or 2 out of 4 weeks in the month, they'll meal prep some stuff and they're good. And then another week they forget or they don't have time to or they don't get groceries that week. So they're like 50%, 25 to 50% consistent with meal prepping. Well, that's bad, dude. That's really bad if you're 25% consistent with meal prepping. So either do it 100% of the time or just pay $12 a meal. Don't go out to eat all the time. Pay $12 a meal to get an actual healthy meal delivered to your door and ready to eat. All right. So that's something I feel fairly strongly about, as you can see, because I'm someone who doesn't love to cook. I'm not a great cook. I'm not someone who likes to meal prep a lot. I've done that in the past. It sucks. I don't like it. So that's something that like I don't go out to eat. We go out to eat or order food out once a week. Like I'd rather just use a meal prep service. And maybe that's why I'm like probably way more consistent with nutrition than most people, despite having a way bigger sweet tooth than most people. I just have everything ready and prepared and ready to go, even though I'm not the one doing the preparing. All right. So that's tip number 2. Use a meal prep service. If you need some ideas for that, let me know. I use Nutri Meals. I do have a discount code for them for 40% off. So if you're in the Northeast of the United States, you can comment below and I'll send you the discount code if you want to try them. I've been using them for like 2 years. And the last thing I'll say about meal prep services, all of them, by the way, not just the one I use, all of them, you have to set proper expectations. You're not going to get these meals and they're going to be a 10 out of 10 taste wise. If you want like a restaurant quality, like taste meal, listen, there's a difference. If you go to a restaurant and get a meal, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 taste. It's going to be a 1 out of 10 macros because their job is to make you love the damn food and be borderline addicted to the food so you come back. So they're using 75 grams of fat worth of oil and butter to make it taste amazing. Food tastes way better when it's got 100 grams of fat. That's what they're doing, right? So you can get a chicken and rice and vegetable meal that's supposed to be super lean and healthy. It's going to have 50 to 75 grams of fat. I'm not exaggerating. Look at the Cheesecake Factory menu. The Cheesecake Factory isn't some like wildly unhealthy restaurant. It's like a normal ass restaurant, right? They cook normal meals. They have like a light menu, like a skinny menu for like lower calorie meals. Look at the macros of those meals, and that's what like most restaurants are going to be like. It's hard to find a meal that's like under 50 grams of fat at a restaurant. So my point is, a restaurant's goal is to make it taste as amazing as possible, and for that reason, they're using butters and oils and sauces that drastically raise the calories just because their main priority is taste. A meal prep service is based around health. It's based for people who are fit, for people who are in shape, people who want to do meal prep but don't have the time. So they're trying to give you meals that have decent macros. Part of the selling point is when you're picking your menu is, hey, these are the macros of the meal. Pick pick the meals that you like the macros of that fit what your goals are. So the taste is going to be like most of the meals I get from my meal prep service. The taste is like a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. Some of them are an 8 out of 10. Some of them are a 5 out of 10. But you have to know, like, they're not putting 100 grams of fat worth of butter in these meals. They're actually making them fairly healthy. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, rant over on that. I've got a few minutes left here. Um, Pro tip number 3 is to work out 3 or 4 times a week. And each workout can be between 15 and 60 minutes. I said I have some clients who have 15-minute workouts in their program. But even if you're working out 3 times a week for 60 minutes each, like that's a time-friendly program, right? If you need less than that, that's fine. You can still see results 3 times a week of 30 minutes each. You can do that too. If you don't have time for that, man, you got to get priorities rearranged. If you don't have 30 minutes a couple times a week to exercise, man, you're going to pay for that shit later. Tip number 4 is to prioritize steps over actual cardio sessions. And this is what I mean, because cardio sessions are good. Do cardio sessions. Like what I mean by a cardio session is like going on a treadmill and running for an hour or walking, going on a Stairmaster, going out for a run. I'm going to go out and run for an hour or 30 minutes. Like that's a session, like a spin class is a cardio session. What I'm saying is if you're crunched for time, you don't have any time to barely do anything, prioritize how many steps you get in daily compared to I got to go do 3 cardio sessions this week. Because if you at least because your steps, you can be multitasking, you can be working. Right now I'm working while getting in steps. As you can see, I'm moving, I'm on my under the desk walking pad. So I'm not doing a cardio session right now. My heart rate's not getting up, but I'm getting steps in and I'm going to finish the day with 10,000 steps, which is a very active day. That's more active than most people, right? So I'm living a more active lifestyle than most people, but I'm not doing more cardio sessions than most people. You can multitask. So many people have these under the desk walking pads now. I would argue it's one of the best investments. $200 for something that allows you to get in 10,000 steps a day easily without, any limitation to the weather, if it's raining, if it's snowing. So, paying attention to your daily steps count is more of a depiction of your lifestyle. Are you active or are you sedentary? And you can do that while multitasking without having to set aside extra time to get in steps. Or you can go outside and go for a walk while you're on a call or, things like that. Tip number 5, I'm breezing through this. You can do supersets in your workouts if you want to train with more volume. By more volume, I mean if you want to do a bunch of exercises, you can superset 2 exercises to go quicker. So a superset is like you do a bicep curl supersetted with a tricep exercise. You do both of those back to back, and then you take a rest, and then you go back and repeat for set number 2. So generally doing a superset is going to save you time compared to if I did a bicep curl, took my rest, went back and did set number 2 of a bicep curl, took a rest, went back and did set number 3 of a bicep curl, took a rest, and then moved on to the triceps, right? Because we're cutting in half the rest periods. We don't have to rest between both exercises. We just have to rest after the superset. So if you're doing, a ton of exercises, that's a way to save time by including more supersets. And I usually recommend including supersets of opposite muscle groups so that the first exercise doesn't hurt your ability to do the second exercise, which is why I said a bicep curl supersetted with a tricep exercise, because they're opposite muscle groups. If we were to do a bicep curl supersetted with a hammer curl, that's no good because they're working the same muscle group. Doing the bicep curls first is going to drastically hurt my ability to then do the hammer curls next. You see what I mean? Tip number 6 is to not do a ton of volume at all and to do lower volume training and do only a few sets, do 2 sets per exercise. I have a number of clients doing this right now. This is a great way to train. So lower volume, meaning maybe we're only doing 3 to 5 exercises in a workout, and each exercise only has 2 sets. So it's not a lot of volume. It's a very brief workout, but we're going hard almost until failure, maybe even until failure in those 2 sets. So the idea is the intensity is very high. You're pushing really until you can't do any more in those 2 sets. That's a great way to train because it means you're pushing yourself hard and you're not doing like junk useless sets where you're like 5 or 10 reps away from failure. So you're not wasting time in the gym. All right, last one here, and then I got to hop off, is to follow an intermittent fasting schedule. Intermittent fasting can be great for some people. For other people, they have no business doing it. I've coached dozens of clients to lose a lot of weight on an intermittent fasting schedule. Now, the reason why it's so time friendly is because what I started the video with, I said that the approach of eating every 2 hours, a small healthy meal, eating 5 to 7 meals a day, it works. It's good. If you can do it, great. If your schedule allows for it, great. But it's not time friendly. It's the most amount of humanly work possible in any approach you'll ever find. It's the most amount of work. Intermittent fasting is kind of the opposite. We're basically saying, hey, don't worry about meal prepping 35 meals a week. We're only going to eat 2 meals a day. We're going to eat lunch and dinner. And really, you just have to prep a meal for lunch. So it's a time friendly thing. You don't have to sit down and eat 6 times a day, 5 times a day. You sit down and eat twice, and there's much less meal prep. So it's one of the more time friendly ways to approach your nutrition. All right. So I hope this was helpful. I do have to hop off now. I'll be live again next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want my help to get in the best shape of your life at any age, at any starting point. You could be a total beginner, you could be someone who's more advanced. If you want to lose body fat, build muscle, and get through the holidays here and then make 2026 the most fit year of your life, feel free to send me a message and I'll be happy to see if I can help, or go to modernmanprogram.com, check it out for yourself, and check out the details, and I will catch you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.